Hello, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to take up some more of your time. I've been here before. Mayor Pro Tem, Councilmember Alan Cohen, thank you so much for speaking last night at the Montrose Center. Councilmember Laster, thank you for being there. Councilmember Mike Knox and Councilmember Christie were also there. I have to say I was rather surprised that Councilmember Knox joined you all to greet the LGBT community. The last time I saw Councilmember Knox having anything to do with the LGBT community was when he stood outside of a Target and boycotted and said that Target should not allow trans people to use the bathroom. For those of you who don't know me, I am an openly transgender man, and he is talking about me and my community and saying that I should not have the ability to use public facilities when I'm outside shopping. That is a direct attack on me as a Houstonian and as somebody who's lived here for 14 years and trying to make my life here in Houston. And I'm horrified that this is somebody who is running our city and somebody who says it's not okay, but then took the time to show up last night on a hot night when all of us were sweating and made it seem like he stood there in solidarity with my community. And yet, he walked out of this room at 2:24 p.m. and has failed to come back. Councilmember Christie, thank you for joining us and thank you for being there last night. I work for Equality Texas. I have the great privilege of working on something that is called the Transvisible Project, and I'll turn this over to a staffer. Texas, I have the great privilege of working on something that is called the Transvisible Project, and I'll turn this over to a staffer. Sorry, I realized I wasn't supposed to bring them up here. Those are the faces of 12 transgender folks that are living here in Houston right now. Some of them are in this crowd behind me, and some of them will address you shortly. And on the back are 26 easy ways to be an ally to the transgender community. Councilmember Kubash, I hope you take a look at that. Councilmember Stardig, you as well. And Councilmember Knox, wherever you are sitting, I hope that this ends up in your mailbox and you take a look at it, because some of you are giving my community lip service, and it is not okay. Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Cohen, you have stood fast with us for so long, and it has meant so much to me from the time that...
Your time has expired.
Councilmember Boykins.
Hey, Lou, thank you so much for coming. I just want to be clear. I didn't know, as a District D council member, about the visual that took place last night. I didn't know about it.
I have no idea who invited who or how that got around,
okay.
And I'm not calling out who wasn't there, right? Because I don't know who invited people.
Well, you're doing a pretty good job beating them up. I just want to be on the record. But
I appreciate that.
But
I hope to see you tomorrow.
let me
here.
be clear. We'll be one tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
I will be here.
God said the same. I'll be there. And let me just say this, and I'm sure all of my colleagues feel the same way about what happened in Florida. And if you think about hatred, I mean, it comes in many fashions, many forms, but sometimes there are people that spur hatred. And then when they spur, whether it's through TV, radio, whatever the case may be, when people who can't receive it, they hear it in a different light than most people who haven't had the experience of some type of military experience, if that was a horrible experience for them mentally, or homeless, whatever the case may be, and they take that hatred and do hateful things. I know my colleagues here on the Houston City Council, when it comes to anything, when it comes to being, like I think you made a comment about Councilmember Knox, from the little time I've gotten to know him, he would not have, I'm not speaking for him, I'm just telling you from here,
Of course.
he would not have been there if he didn't want to be there. For whatever reason, y'all can have that discussion. But I can tell you this, after the HERO process went through, my eyes opened more to some of the sensitivity of the concerns from the GLBT community. And also some of my friends I've had conversations with in the GLBT community clearly understood that the process could have been a little different, which the outcome probably would have been a little different, because the angle of scare tactics may not have been put in place if it was done a little different. So I'm saying that to say we are one city, I think Mayor Turner talked about it a little bit, we're one city that cares for one another, love one another, and respect one another. And there will be a time when hopefully, and maybe I'm going out on a limb saying this, that the opportunity to present that this city does not discriminate comes back up, but it's presented in a respectful way to everyone. And so I just want you to know, I know my colleagues how they feel, regardless of whatever political affiliation is. When it comes to hatred, they they don't support it.
Can I have a minute?
Yes, sir.
I would like to believe that, sir, but somebody that stands out front of Target and says it's not okay, I really hope you're right, but right now I cannot hear that. But I encourage Councilmember Knox that if he would like to contact Mayor Pro Tem Ellen Cohen's office, she knows how to find me, so does Councilmember Laster. I would more than happy to come down and have a conversation with him or with any of you to tell you what it's like to be a transgender person in Houston or what it's like to be a transgender person, because I know that's some weird stuff, and we don't get it. And I'm happy to have this conversation. And so if any of you want to know what it's like to be a transgender person or what those words mean, please find me, call me. I will happily come back down here and have these conversations. Because if you're telling me that Houston doesn't want to discriminate and yet an elected official takes out of his personal time to go down and stand out front of a Target with some of those people who were spreading lies around Hero and about who the transgender community is, I am sorry, Councilmember Boykins, but I can't buy that right now.
Got it.
Thank you. Councilmember Robinson?
Lou, I want to thank you for this postcard. I think it's a really excellent project and visibly important
Thank you.
and transvisible project. Is there a website we can say out loud?
It should be on the back of that, sir. If not, and I would love to have a way to get that into a
Can you
city
say it out
place.
loud?
I'm sorry?
I don't see it. Can you say
It's
it out
not,
loud?
I will make it should be at texastransvisible.com.
Thank you.
I will make sure you get that. And if there's a way that we do have them printed on 24 by 36 gallery quality canvases to put that in the city somewhere during Pride Month, we would love to see that happen.
Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
again.
Lou,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you very much. And
Thank you, member.
you were saying something which was somewhat complimentary of me.
Oh,
And
yes, I'd love to
unfortunately,
finish that. Yeah, I got cut off.
unfortunately, the bell rang right in the middle of it. But I do want to
Can I
say,
finish my compliment? Thank you. I appreciate that.
I do want to say about you that, quite honestly, many years ago when I ran for the legislature, you were the first trans male that I had ever met. And you educated me, and your wisdom, knowledge, friendship, warmth, and ability to keep it under control did so much for my personal growth, and I am very grateful to you and grateful for all you do. Councilmember Laster?
Sir.
I just simply want to add, Lou, to you and so many of the leaders of the community. You have been a real leader for me, and you've been a mentor to me, and I consider each of you personal friends. And God bless each and every one of you in your daily
Thank you,
walk.
sir.
God
Thank
bless
you all. Appreciate
Thank you very much.
Thank you.